Like, to me, by far, to me, that's one of the most beautiful things about living. That's one of the most beautiful things about living, man, is me being able to create my own atmosphere around myself. Create, eliminate the fears, accept the beliefs that I want, accept the truths that I want, and not give a damn about what anybody else thinks, man. Solitude. We don't talk about solitude enough, brothers. I mean, we talk about monk mode. We talk about going your own way. We talk about, different facets of separation, but solitude should be taking place on all levels. I'm talking about the man from the man that's going his own way to the man that's celebrating his 80th anniversary, right? Every man should have periods of or points of the day or some of solitude in his life, man. We don't understand the importance of solitude, right? Now, of course, when I talk solitude, in today's type conversation is more going toward men in their monk mode, of course, right? Let me say this, man. And I believe I've addressed this enough as far as like my point of view, right? Like, after coming out of my red pill stage, it will be very hard to convince me that man and woman coming together to unite is not the highest level of vibrating on this plane. Like, it would be hard to convince me that after understanding polarity, after understanding all the laws that are taking place, after understanding the significance of masculine energy and feminine energy coming together, I now understand, brothers, that man and woman, I understand the power of it now, right? At the same time, I'm talking about two high vibrational, two enlightened, two aware individuals, right? I've always said, man, that my personal belief is that 80% of people that are married now shouldn't be married. They're married because she's fine. They're married because he had a bag. They're not married because they're trying to tap into that deepest level of understanding, consciousness, and manifestation, right? So having said that, and talking about solitude, man, I think it's important that unless a man finds a woman that fits that bill, like, he should be spending his time in solitude. Again, if he hasn't found that woman that he can connect to and go into higher levels, he should remain in solitude, man. But the thing is, why? Why is it that a man should remain in solitude? It's not just because, women are moving a certain way, or women are going to cheat on you, or women are doing this, or women are taking you back. That's not the reason. Like women are the least reason why a man should retreat and go into this sacred space that we have, brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'll say one of the first reasons, and really we shouldn't even have to bring this one up, but I'll just say it just because, is enlightenment. We all know that all the questions that we're asking, all the answers we're seeking, man, we all know they're in the silence. We all know when they're in that place of separating ourselves from the pack, separating ourselves from X, Y, and Z to get ourselves in this still place. But we all know that's where the answers are. And I'm going to tell you this, a lot of you don't know that that's where the answers are because you're scared to go to that place because you're scared of what you're going to hear. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't go into that silence because they're scared of what they're going to hear, which really brings me to my first point on the importance or why a man should seek that solitude. I'll say, man, that one of the primary reasons, at least for me, is because that's the place of self-reflection. You know what I'm saying? It's easy when you're just operating and navigating in life, man, and your life is not going as planned, and whatever sector of your life is going funny. It's easy to say, man, you know what? It's my boys I grew up with, man. Like these are my boys. We've been knowing each other since we were 5 years old. We were all growing up. We're all still in the same hood. My brothers, my boys are holding me back. Like, I'm trying to make certain moves. I'm trying to go left. They're trying to go right. I'm trying to put them on. They're trying to ball, and my boys are keeping me down, man. It's easy for us to say that. It's very easy for us to blame it on a woman. It's easy to say, man, you know what? My life isn't doing a certain thing because of the woman in my life. And to be honest, brothers, these are facts. If a woman is in your life and she's not moving like you, or she's moving in a different manner, shape, form, or fashion, but it's going to affect your world. It's going to affect your world. But the thing is, when you go on a solitude, when you cut all those things out, man, it puts you in a position where you can't blame any of that stuff. The thing about solitude, man, it's almost like it's like FaceTiming yourself, brother. It's face-to-face moments with yourself. It's like whatever you're creating, you know that it's all you. There's no more outside interferences, man. It's like this is time with myself. The pendulum is swinging between me and me. You know what I'm saying? So whatever is being created, whatever my habits are, whatever my vices are, it's all me. There's no other influence, man. You know? But the beauty of that, brothers, is you know, that solitude, man, if you're honest with yourself. If you're honest with yourself, man, it can serve as an amnesty box, man. I know a lot of y'all don't know what an amnesty box is, man. Amnesty box is, when I joined the military, or when you join the military, you know, you're getting ready to go to basic training. You get off the buses, man. The drill sergeant's digging your ass and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And then you go in this little room, right? You're getting ready to start processing. You know, you about to be really in the military now, right? And they send you to this little small room, and there's a little trash can in that room. And they say, hey, man, you know what? You know, up until this point, you know, we don't care what you did. We don't care what you brought to the military with you. We don't care what's in your bag. We don't care if you got drugs in there. We don't care if you got blades in there. We don't care what you got in there, man. Once you get in this little room, we're giving you the opportunity to dump this off. Boom. Put it in the amnesty box. No questions, no questions will be asked, right? You can put rounds in there, anything you want, right? But once you pass that point, it's like, now we're expecting you to walk a certain way. Now we're going to hold you to the gauntlet if you're going to, put you up under the guillotine if you're moving wrong, right? I'm telling you, man, when a man puts himself in solitude, it's an amnesty box, man. It's a point where you can look at your life and say, you know what, man? My world is messed up strictly because of me. It's strictly because of me, man. Like there's nobody in my space except me. And I don't care if you spend, a week in solitude, a month, a year, whatever. Once that world gets to forming around you and you're only spending time with yourself, brother, whatever is presenting itself is all you. The beauty of it is, man, you can say, you know what? Okay, I've identified my shortcomings. I can see where I suck. I can see where I procrastinate. I can see where I've been lazy. I can see where I could have got my ass up at 4 o'clock in the morning instead of 8:30. I can see all these things that are causing my world to do a certain thing. Now I can dump those things. It's just me in this space. It just now I can unpack all these negative things, man, and put them in the amnesty box and move forward, man. That's the beauty of solitude, brothers. That FaceTime with yourself, man. Letting that pendulum swing between only you. It's the beautiful thing, brothers. But once you come out of that, man, it is even an even more beautiful point of going into the solitude, brother. And that's creating your own dimension. Creating your own dimension, man. And I really mean that. Like we always talk about putting a bubble over yourself, putting a bubble over your life, man. Like to me, by far, that's one of the most beautiful things about living. That's one of the most beautiful things about living, man, is me being able to create my own atmosphere around myself. Eliminate the fears, accept the beliefs that I want, accept the truths that I want, and not give a damn about what anybody else thinks, man, and live in that bubble and create my own truth, man. Like there's nothing more beautiful to life than that to me, brothers. Not even close, man. Form my own forms of entertainment. When I say form your own bubble, man, like this is like, man, it takes a lot. It takes you spending a lot of time with yourself. You have to spend a lot of time with yourself. I know, and if you're a guy that likes to be out and about, extroverted, clubs or whatever stuff, still do that stuff, but do it in your own bubble. I'm gonna tell you what I do, man, and it's almost a ritual. Like on Sundays, man, like I love to go out and enjoy me a nice meal on Sundays. Pretty much every Sunday, right? And I got 2 or 3 spots I'll go, you know, top tier restaurants, great food, great atmosphere. And in these atmosphere, man, and 1 or 2 of these places, man, it's kind of, I'll say the word lit, for lack of a better word. Like there's a lot of engagement there. There's beautiful women, there's music, there's, you know, it's just the upbeat vibe. I go in this spot, man, and it's like I conduct myself as if I'm the only one in there. It's my own bubble. I hear music, I see people. I might catch a television on wall, I might see some football, and I'm ordering my food, brother, and I'm just enjoying life. I'm observing people, man, but my world is my world. Their thoughts, their actions, their energy, I won't even let it penetrate, man. You know, if there's a person sitting next to me, whether it's a sister, whether it's a brother, and we just have some good conversation, I might let them in my bubble, man. We just kind of vibe and talk about what's going on in this space. But it's like, man, you have to learn to create a bubble, man, around yourself at all times. Brother, I've gone on vacations. I've been overseas and just put myself in a bubble where it was almost like I was the only person over. But you have to understand how important that mindset is, man. You have to put yourself in a position, man, where you can't let any other frequencies, bother your frequencies until you put concrete around that house you've built. You have to put concrete around that house you've built, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's when your world will start looking like what you want it to, man. If I'm lying, I'm dying, brothers. If I'm lying, I'm dying, man. Eliminate all the fears and create the world you want. Create, whatever your purpose is. Tie into that, man, and just move in that energy where you're the only thing that matters. You're the only thing that matters. Think about this, man. To be honest, when we talk about women coming in our lives, and solitude and all this stuff, to be honest, that has to take place before you should even desire for a woman to come in. Because the last thing you want to do, man, and let me say this. Unless you're a man that met your spouse when y'all were teenagers or met your spouse, at a very young age and y'all kind of started with absolutely nothing and y'all kind of start building something together, that happens, man. And that's a beautiful thing. But most guys, if you stay single, past 25, 30, 35, you find yourself single, brother, I'm telling you, it's far better for you to create your world first and then bring a woman on your team or bring a woman in your bubble, right? I'm telling you, what you really don't want, you really don't want to be in the mindset as a grown man to being a guy that's trying to find self and trying to build his life around himself and trying to create his own world and try to bring another woman in to create that. You really want to establish, what you want your world to look like first. And again, when that woman comes in, she can of course magnify it. But how can you expect the woman to come in and magnify something that hasn't been defined? You have to define it first, brothers. So that's one of the most beautiful things of solitude, man, is a man finding, or is a man, defining his own world. If nothing else, brothers, understand that, man, that the solitude, man, defining your own world is priority. Again, you don't want some woman to come into a world that's not already defined. Because then you can't blame, you don't want to be one of those brothers that's, again, later in life blaming a woman for coming to your life and messing it up. It's like after a certain age, we should already know. After your 20s, man, after having some bad relationships and after having some bad experiences, maybe even divorces, God forbid, as a grown man, you should understand it, bro. When I bring a woman on my team, I have to understand what's really taking place. I have to have my world already built for when she comes in. So, man, the solitude, if nothing else, is for that, brother. What it comes down to, man, is we have to, it all comes back down to self-love, man. The solitude can be a beautiful place if a man understands that self-love is priority. Self-love is priority, man. Because once you get in that space, you can actually